YouTubers, and welcome back here to another episode of the Highland Scotties Sports Talk here on NCAA 14 as part of the Highland Scotties Team Builder Dynasty. So welcome back, and today we are going to be looking at some stuff here for week 10, as we do have a bye week this week, so Scotties fans can, or I should say the boys, the Highland Scotties can kind of relax, take a week off here, and kind of get ready for the upcoming game here against Southern Alabama, which we'll talk a little bit about later on here. But there you see some of the team news that we kind of mentioned towards the end of the last episode there, with a great victory over Fighting Illini. And there you see Chris McCall is the newest Scotty there that will be joining us next season. The corner there, 79 overall. He is going to join us. So we got a decent corner here. He's not going to be the best. I think he was. He's not. I don't think he was in the top 100 there for us, if I'm not mistaken. But he is definitely a young man that we've been kind of going after, and we have now finally signed with him. I think he was supposed to have he'll show up next week, or in 2 weeks here for a visit, but he went ahead and he was impressed with what we did this past week against Fighting Illini. Now, Daniel DeSantos, he will not be here because he is going to Arkansas. He will not be here with his brother, and so unfortunately, we are not going to have the DeSantos brothers there together. So we'll have to. We still need another outside linebacker that we need to go after, and we have a couple there. We got Zane Reed, who is on our list, but we're not on the top of his list. Ishmael Daly, Hudson Cam. I think we announced that he was with Florida. We'll take that back. He is not with Florida, but he is a strong contender for them, and we'll keep on top of that. You see some other names that are locked us out here this week, and we may have to just cut our losses with those guys and kind of move on and maybe go after some others. And there you see some names, guys that we'll be going after. Now, I think I mentioned this last time we had an episode of this. I mentioned that if you see the guys here that are kickers, those are some guys that you guys wanted as recruit, that you guys wanted to be on the team. And the only way you can be on the team is you have to be willing to have your player to be about a 65 overall. So I put you as a kicker, so you kind of won't be get touched by other teams. You will get a scholarship, but you'll be considered like a walk-on type role to the team. So that's how we're going to do it, and of course we'll unlock what you guys released. What you wanted them to be. I know what they are, but you guys don't. So that's how that's gonna work out. So we got a couple of those guys there that we can plug some guys in some areas that we need help in if we can't get them. Can't get others signed to the team this off season, especially during the off season. Ethan Parker, the third, he is going to go to Wisconsin, as he will be there, of course, with Shane Sheldon, the little brother of Sheldon Sherman. Sheldon Sherman, not Shane Sherman. Shane Sherman, and his older brother Sheldon was with us last 3 seasons there. Now he'll be up there with Ethan, so those two will be there with in Wisconsin. And of course, like I said, Daniel DeSantos will be with us. David will be next season, as you see among some others there that have recently just signed with us. So we got a couple of areas we still need to kind of look at here for next season. For a fullback there, we need one fullback. Currently, we need one. We only have a senior right now playing that position, but we need a total of 2, but we only need one. So we have a freshman there, so we need one for next year. And we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, defensive tackle, we need 2. So far, we've targeted 2. And then the middle linebacker there, we need 1. And also strong safety, we need 1 there. So for the most part here, I've pretty much almost got what we need Just trying to work on some depth here and see how that goes. Of course, Rush here, this will be his last year here along with Norton. So that quarterback position next year pretty much is up and grabs. Anyone can really go after it. Clay, of course, is going to be your next guy, though. I guess you could say will be next one up. But you also have the young man from Kansas City, Kansas that we signed a couple of seasons ago. Could be his year. He'll be a junior starting there, a redshirt junior. So he could come in here and do some damage there for us and really show off. And we'll talk more about the future of this club with those type of players coming up here maybe in the next episode. But you take a look at some of the numbers there for the season so far. There are 16 touchdowns, 7 interceptions there for Norton. He's been tackled or been sacked 8 times. As for Rush, over 1,000 yards there, 10 touchdowns for him, and 7 interceptions there for him for this season there. So pretty much on the same, or excuse me, Rush has 11 interceptions there. My bad. Norton, for the most part here, he has been really clutch in a lot of situations there. And I know talking to Coach Teddy Bonds here, for the last couple of weeks now, and he's kind of mentioned that, he does want to see Rush out there. Him and Rush have been talking. He brought back Rush because Rush was wanting to go get drafted. And with the way, Rush has kind of been not really playing well here, we kind of talked about him maybe try to come back here so he can be at least close to a second round pick. And with his play right now, that is not going to be the case. He could, just, depending on how he does here in the next couple of games. You do have some big games coming up here like BYU, South Alabama, and of course a couple others. But it's really going to have to depend on his gameplay. And I know he said that he's been working on some simulations on the field and working with a lot of the second string guys there. But he said he's determined. He's been working on a lot of game film there, and we'll see how that goes here coming up here. Maybe possibly against that South Alabama game. Or you see some of the rushing numbers there. You guys can take a look at that. Of course, I've been really impressed with Davison. 714 yards there, 5 touchdowns there for him for the season. Of course, he's been out for that pectoral muscle. He could be making a return next as early as this week, even though we don't have a game. He's been showing up to practice here. He had a light practice the last 2 weeks, but for the most part, he could come back full on contact and stuff like that coming up this week in his bye week. So we could see him come back here pretty quickly here. Same thing with Tolbert. He has 434 yards, or 37 yards, for the season. He has 1 touchdown, and we got possibly see him make a return here going into this game coming up with South Alabama. So that'll be really nice to see those two guys come back here, especially Tolbert. If you guys been following the series here from the beginning, Tolbert was a backup, and this kid's really showed what he can do. He really stepped up the season. I think it was season 2, where Cannon was out for the majority of the season, and Tolbert was really tough. He was a tough guy to catch the ball and whatnot, but after working in the off season and just really having Cannon back him and work with him while Cannon was injured himself, he really turned out to be a really good and honest, decent offensive player there in the tight end position there. So it really sucks that Tolbert now he's lost quite a few games here now because of injury. But that's a part of the game. That's what happens. And hopefully, if he does go to the pros there, hopefully he'll have a successful career there. Tolbert, unfortunately, we got a couple more games with him left. But Ramirez has been doing a great job as a freshman, coming off stepping up from the second string to the first string and showing what he can do in that tight end position there. And I'm really hoping that we do not have a sophomore slump with him or Godfrey. Those two freshmen have been doing so great. Defensively, of course, it's been a struggle for us all season long there. Of course, Gallagher here, he's been really stepping up there on the defensive line. 8 sacks for him from this season. And you guys have been watching here, week by week, it's been getting better and better. We had to go through those growing pains there. But for a while there, it was our offense picking up the slack there, helping our defense and scoring there. But now it's been kind of turning the other way around now. Defense has been really doing a good job here, keeping us in games, playing good, keeping the hope alive, and giving the offenses more chances now to stay in the game. So it's starting to look like that defense that Coach Teddy Bonds is known for is starting to make that turn here, and we're hoping that will continue. Especially in that game we just seen here with the Fighting Illini. We're hoping that will return here for the next several weeks, and through the course of the bowl season, because that's what we need to have. So we'll see how things go come about here in the next couple of weeks. Really all depends on how well these guys play, and the coaching staff there has been doing a great job of just grinding it out, just seeing what these guys can do and seeing what they are capable of. And so far they've been stepping up to each and every challenge, even though we've been going through a couple close calls here. We've now 8-0 for the season. They're gonna easily we could have lost that game against Kansas there early. I want to say also the Georgia Tech game. There was quite a few games there that we could have really easily lost, and if we lost those games, we could have easily just slipped into not even in the not even ranked anymore. Speaking of rankings, there's the top 25 poll there. Of course, we're at number 1 at the top spot, and of course, take a look there at the very end there. Texas Tech is at the bottom. Clemson drops out this week, but there you see some other guys receiving some votes. And of course, after 8 weeks, they now finally released the BCS rankings. And there you see us at number 1. Number 2 there, Florida, who have been in a couple of battles here lately in recruiting. They are number 2. They have jumped up from 7 to 2. Georgia has dropped down from 2 to 9. And then Auburn there, and Texas, and amongst others there in the top 5 here in the BCS. So it looks like if right now the season would ended right now, it would be Florida versus Highland for the national championship there. But of course, both teams still have a lot more football still to play. Of course, Florida still has their as the SEC championship there to worry about, and of course we don't. So that's gonna be something different next year, because next year we're going to the Big 12, and we'll have to worry about playing the Big 12 championship game. There you see the Heisman watch there. I haven't been really paying attention too much there, but Josh Jackson, he's been pretty much the top guy here all season long there for Virginia Tech. Auburn, Jack Allison. There you see Green for Marshall. And then Coach Tonga Vanola there for Alabama, and Peters for Michigan. And all of them are QBs, so it pretty much looks like it's going to be a QB winning the Heisman Trophy this season. And of course, I'm hoping that next season we'll be back in that hunt there for the Heisman Trophy. But we'll take a look at some Week 10 matchups here, and we got some pretty good, decent matchups here. I believe this is rivalry week, and so a lot of teams are going to be playing each other. You guys, you got games like Air Force versus Army, West Point there. You got a couple of Big 12 games that are going to be really important between Baylor and Texas Tech. So there you see one of the big rivalry games that everyone's looking forward to. Of course, that will be played in Philadelphia. Let's see with some other. We got North Carolina and NC State playing. That's a big game there. And we got some pretty good, decent Big 12, or excuse me, Big 10 games there. You got Indiana and Rutgers. There you see at North Carolina. That's going to be a fun game there. There on Tobacco Road. Virginia Tech, of course, that's going to be a big game because they got their top guy there going against a pretty decent Boston College this season, who are playing very well. South Alabama, of course, we'll see them next week. They'll be playing against Arkansas State. So, of course, a win with that. And, of course, Notre Dame and Navy. That is an epic game there. Another nice rivalry between those two schools. And we'll see Michigan State and, of course, Michigan. A classic there. A lot of fans, in-state battle right there between those two schools. And that's going to be the one everybody's going to watch. A nice Mountain West matchup there. San Jose State versus Fresno State. I will tell you guys right now, we'll make the announcement right now that we have found out for next season that since we're joining the Big 12, we are now also adopting a sister conference, and that sister conference happens to be the Mountain West. Now that means we are going to do kind of like, you're probably more familiar with soccer doing this. They do a regulation where they regulate maybe the top two teams from that sister league to come into their league. So starting next season, we'll have it'll be the Big 12, but then the following season 6. We'll end up adding whatever the bottom two teams in the Big 12 will get pushed, and they'll be pushed out of the Big 12 and go into the Mountain West, as the two top teams in the Mountain West will come into the Big 12. So that's a way where we can do some cross branding here, get some exposure out west that way, and whatnot. So it's gonna be really fun. I cannot wait. I've been kind of working with a friend talking about this and how we can make the series more interesting there. So we'll see a lot more Mountain West teams out in that way. Also, too, I was possibly maybe thinking about maybe it was every other year we would go with the MAC conference, maybe get some exposure out east, or I should say around the Midwest, Central, Eastern area, around that, Michigan, Ohio, stuff like that area. So I was thinking about doing something like that, and those regulations will swap out every other year. So let's take a look here at some team news here as we went ahead and skipped skip week 10, and because it was a bye week, and we got Thomas there signed for us. We got locked up by Karev, of course, again, and by Rashford there. And of course, we got a couple of visits there. We got Dallas Russo, who is eager to visit us. He's one of those recruits that you guys sent to us, and we're going to go ahead and get him ready for this. So he's actually going to come to this week, come up and see this game here with South Alabama. Of course, South Alabama, they got a good team here. Just one of those teams that could be. A lot of people are saying that we're the heavy favorite, but this could be a tricky game for us. This could be a game that could easily get away from us if we do not play some solid defense here, and of course stop their running game. They have a pretty decent running game there. Just take a look at some of the numbers there. But we're going to try our best to avoid this one here. We're going to try to play some solid football here, and it should be a nice one here. So week 11. Taking on South Alabama Jaguars, a 3-5 team going against an 8-0 team. Could this be the one game that trips us up here finally? We'll have to find out and see coming up in the next episode. And that episode will come up here in about another day or two here on the channel. So thank you guys for watching the Highland Scotties Sports Talk here. And hopefully we will have a successful week. Hopefully we'll have two of our top players there on offense, Alexander and, of course, Marcel there showing up next week, hopefully in this game, and come back here. So we really need Tolbert and Alexander to really come back and play some good defense. But that is it for this episode of the Highland Scotties Sports Talk. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord for the latest news and events on the channel and what's going on in the world of sports gaming and in sports in general. And follow us on Patreon. We have a Patreon page. There's a link down below. Check it out. Also, there's a link in the eye there above in the video. You guys check it out if you guys want to be a part of the sports gaming nation here on the channel. and help out in Patreon by supporting the channel that way. So thank you guys again for watching. As always, keep each other healthy. Go Scotty Nation. See you guys next week when we play South Alabama Jaguars at home for another episode of the Highland Scotties Dynasty. As always, keep each other healthy, and I will see you guys next time.